crazy. It's funny though.
What's going on,
Paintball World? This is your guy, the Prophet. Sorry for the lateness. I had experienced a couple of things, but we are finally here. So in this podcast, this is Border Wars Part 2. As you guys know, me and Kelly, we was talking on our first podcast, Border Wars Part 2. Wait, why am I? Sorry, I had to get rid of that other echo. But yes, we are finally back, and then we are ready and prepared. Before we get started, I want to introduce the guys that are on this platform. First and foremost, I'm the Prophet. As you guys know, I love to do stream. I love to do my content from time to time. Whenever I get on any field, I always bring chaos. Everyone knows that about me. You know, I'm the guy with the full auto box mag. Yes, I run down people. Yes, I enjoy it. But, you know, that's just my little small talk. But, you know, before we get started, I want to get these guys on board first. So who wants to go?
That's you guys.
I'll let Mark take it, bro.
Well,
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead first.
hi, my name is Mark Hartley. I'm paintball nickname is the Dirty Mark. I've been playing in Oregon and the Pacific Northwest for better part of 15 years. Formerly of Team Deathpack. I retired a couple of years ago as I started doing more event promotions and running my own things. Pacific Northwest for better part of 15 years. I just picked up an echo. Formerly of Team Deathpack. I retired a couple of years ago as I started doing more event promotions and running my own things. Pacific Northwest for
You guys echo your background.
Yep. Paladin, can you mute the YouTube feed?
Formerly of Deathpack. I retired a couple of years ago as I started doing more event promotions and running my own things. That's the worst thing is hearing my own voice.
All right, whose echo is that? Is that my echo? It's not mine. No, it's not mine.
No, I think somebody must be streaming the YouTube feed at the same time.
All right, it went away now.
Okay, there we go. Anyway, so last year I was asked to general for the Oregon side. There was some confusion, mostly because I'm a Washington resident. That being said, I'm also an Oregon licensed electrician. I'm hearing last year I was asked to general for the Oregon side. There was some confusion, mostly because I'm a Washington resident. That being said, I'm also licensed electrician.
Maybe everybody just got mute and just let one person talk.
Mostly because I'm also. Yeah, we'll try that. Anyway, so I'm an Oregon licensed electrician. I work in Oregon every day, and all my experience with paintball has been in Oregon. So when I was asked to be the Oregon General, it was not a stretch. I pay Oregon income tax, and all my friends are from Oregon. So I was only able to recruit a very small team to come with me up to Border Wars last year. I think I brought maybe 14 people to the event, and we had a ton of fun, and I can't wait for next year. On to you, Tuna.
Wait, before you go, Tuna, Dirty Mark, can you tell us a little bit about the name, like where the name come from, how the name start? Because, you know, it's a little catchy when you talk about it.
Oh, so it's okay, baby. My daughter's sitting right here, and she has opinions on paintball too. No, it was a nickname that was sort of given to me a couple years ago. It started as a Facebook chat. And it was called Dirty Mark and the Boys, and it's basically our local, all our local guys in our areas, guys that play paintball, and we also play video games. So it kind of just became a catch-all for all our buddies. The Dirty Mark was created at Super Game. And it was really solidified the year that I won. I think it was 2023. I won Super Game MVP and most MVP for my work on anti-tank role. I've always been a player of mixed skill set. I'm a proficient pump player, proficient magfed player. I dabble in speedball. I love playing mech tournaments. But primarily I'm a stock class pump player. That's what I've always started out as. It's what I continue to use. And after my nickname kind of settling in, and also due to I've played big games for better part of 15 years, and so there's things that's always annoyed me about paintball sidearms. So I actually have a custom gunslinger holster that's stamped with my nickname on it, and I carry a custom Phantom pistol in that holster that I can quick draw. And it's basically so when I'm playing big games, I always have my most reliable marker that I'm most skilled with on me at all times, because I generally run a rocket launcher, I run a Havoc launcher, and I also used to run a SAR 12, but now I'm running an EMF 200 as my primary first strike marker. So when I'm on the field, I usually have at least 2 to 3 paintball guns, and it's because I'm an impatient person, and I'm usually always on the front line, and I always carry a radio with a big whip antenna. So I'm always no matter what event I'm tied into whatever command frequencies that are being used at that event. So I'm usually first to respond to something that's going on. And when I get there, I need to be able to deal with it, whether it's a paintball tank, enemy sniper, or I need to go defend a base at point blank range. And then I that's what the Phantom's for. But the dirty mark is mostly, it's my friends, art imitates life. And they started calling me it, and then I became it. And it stuck around. Before I've had other paintball nicknames when I was part of other teams, but the dirty mark's more sort of just kind of stuck.
All right. I love that. Dirty Mark. Nice to meet you, brother.
Absolutely. Good to meet you too.
All right, Big Tuna. Well, Tuna, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Big Tuna is totally fine, guys. What's up? I'm Big Tuna. I am a MagFed player. I've been blessed with the opportunity to be part of Border Wars 2026. I've been around the community, I would say about 10 years now. I started playing 2015, 2016. I had a small team, MagFed players. Our first event was Dominion D2 in California, so that was pretty cool. And then from there, it's just been growing. I've been predominantly a MagFed player since day one. I don't play speedball. I don't play hopper ball. Nothing wrong with that. It is not my cup of tea. I love that and respect all type of play. I am the founder of my current team, the Blackbacks. I founded them in 2018, and we've just been traveling all over the place. We go to New York, Texas, Florida, California, Oregon, and we can't wait to put Eastern Washington on our reservoir. But yeah, I've been around for a while, and like I said, I've had the opportunity to generate a few games, small games, my local fields. 2025 was a great year for me. I was able to be part of Florida Super Game, be a Red General, and that was a great experience, a learning experience, and I just met a whole bunch of new friends and had a great time. So here's to more years and more games, and I'm just glad to be part of any production and any big games in the sport of paintball.
Well, brother, it's good to meet you, man. I love hearing more MagFed guys, that I'm getting to know. I'm meeting for the first time, so it's a pleasure, man. And I hope that we definitely meet on the field, which we will. Because listen, MagFed, is where it's at. I'm not gonna lie. I've been a MagFed player since 2018, and I have to say it's one of the best times to be alive. MagFed is what brought us together. MagFed is what will keep growing, and MagFed is never dead. So
only 2018,
man. Yeah, 2018, man.
So,
I'm not gonna lie. Like my name,
my first T15 I bought. Its serial number was 00303. It was one of the first 500 T15s ever made. I ran that thing till it fell apart.
No, I think my first marker was a TMC, Tipman TMC.
Well, that was fantastic.
I made the dumbest mistake, man. I made 2 mistakes. I think I didn't oil it properly. That was 1. 2, I think I stripped a lot of the bolts on there. So yeah, it was a terrible marker for me when I first got it. I tried to maintain it as much as I possible, but it didn't work out. So then I went for the M17, which was full auto, pretty good. But even with that, like when the paintballs get in there, they break fast. It's terrible. So now my favorite gun and my only best gun is the EMF. I got two of those, EMF 100. And I have to say, I've been making a killing off those guns for years now. Like, unstoppable, when people hear me coming, or because, I'm so loud to the point where I'm leading a charge. So it's like, they know I'm coming. They can hear the gun going off. And the more it goes off, it just scares them away. Some people got to hide. Like, it was times where like people was like, yo, the prophet is coming. Get prepared. And yeah, like whole game changer. Like the best gun I ever had was the EMF. The 200 though, I haven't really looked into it yet, but I don't know, it looks pretty good. I haven't heard nothing bad about it. So
I can tell you all about it. I was fortunate enough. Jason Schraber, shout out to Impact Action Paintball down in Tualatin, is a good friend of mine, and he was running his Planet Eclipse booth at Super Game years ago, and they had the first like a prototype MG100, and they were allowing people to take it out in the field and play with it. And that year, I was a Blue Army sniper commander at Super Game, and I'd had this big crazy plan of recruiting all these snipers and had this coordinated thing. Well, the problem with paintball snipers, and Tuna, you might agree with this too, is that they're all divas and none of their markers work real well. And so the one rule I had to be a part of the Blue Army Command was you had to make the start of Saturday at Super Game. And I had bought 2,000 first strikes, and I was going to give all these first strikes to my sniper teams. Problem was none of them showed up on time. So I had 2,000 first strikes to shoot, and I think I made it through like 1,500 at that event through my T15. But wow. I shot my T15 until the bolt seized. I had to field strip it, spit on the action to break the lubricant failure, load it, ran that bolt back in, and I kept shooting it. Like the thing, it ran great. But I agree with you. So at that event, I got to run the MG100 in its first prototype form. I took the Nemesis barrel off my T15, my red dot off of it, loaded with the first strikes, went out there, and it was night and day. I was able to walk a line and just pick out all the specific targets I needed to eliminate and advance the line. And I walked off the field, and it was one of the first markers I bought. And then this year is the same thing. I went to the booth. He had, I think 5 or 6 EMF 200s, and I picked it up. He did the whole spiel, how it all works. And I'm like, well, there's the pinnacle of MagFed to me. So I fire sold all my MagFed gear that night. I sold my SAR 12 for like $600. I sold my EMF 100 that was modified for like I think like $350. I just dumped everything because I was like, I went and swiped the credit card on the EMF 200, and I'm like, if I don't sell this other gear, my wife isn't going to change the locks before I get home. It's a great marker. It's easy to clean. It's super. It worked really well.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have to look into that, man. We're gonna talk more about that. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get other two guys involved as well. Warren, thanks for joining up, my friend. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Good to be on. Sorry about the echo. I can't see on the phone, so I had the YouTube going on the big screen, and we were just getting an echo from
the
that.
Same problem from the first podcast.
Yeah, but then it's delayed, so then it was causing an issue. So anyway, so I can barely see you guys on my phone screen. If you see my eyes going weird, it's because I'm actually trying to see what you look like on the computer screen, but I got it muted now, so we'll make it.
You're good.
As we're talking about MagFed, so yes, LXG is actually tied with Nova Paintball, and they've released some teasers about a new MagFed marker that they're coming out with, and it should be pretty competitive on the way that they do their bolt systems and stuff. It's not going to be a reciprocating one, but it'll be a closed bolt system from what I understand. So I'm excited for that, and rumors have it that they might be calling it the Paladin. I don't want to take all credit for it, but because it's such a cool name, they might be calling it that. Hopefully I don't get in trouble from Chris over there at Nova, but there might be another really cool MagFed marker coming onto the market here soon. I think they're looking at beta releases here in the next few months. And so we'll see how that all goes. Yeah, and Sean McNary, the Rock Dad, he just put a comment on that. He's had his hands on it at the factory. After Full the Gap in November, a few of the LXG guys got to go and tour the Nova factory in North Carolina, I believe. And they got to see that. So Chris has sent me a few of the teaser things. Nova Paintball is a great company. They also make like blasters and things like this that are like Star Wars replicas and things like that. So try to look them up for the cool stuff that they do. They're trying to innovate paintball because there hasn't been a whole lot of technological advances in a while. I would give them a look into it and see. Like I said, LXG, that's the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the team that I'm on. We're a factory team for Nova, and a lot of our guys have Novas, especially the rocket launchers, which makes games very, very interesting. So we can talk about that when we get into Border Wars.
Sounds good.
Oh, somebody's putting a bounty on Kelly, huh?
I'm about to go there. But before I go there, Kels, what you have to say, man? It's good to have you back, my friend. I think you're muted. But
oh, there we go.
Okay.
You muted me, right? I'm just excited to be back, man. Really always look forward to doing these podcasts with you. It's a lot of fun, and just really pumped that we can get out here and promote Border Wars some more, and always looking forward to a great event at the end of the year this year. Not much of a MagFed player myself, not yet. I've been teasing the idea quite a bit. Got a pretty good hard on for those EMF 200s. As far as I know, they run the same bolt system as the CS3, and that's just known for being one of the most reliable markers on the market right now, as far as like high-end speedball guns go. So excited to potentially get my hands on one. Got some ideas for it. We'll see if there's any room left in the budget for one before Border Wars, if Border Wars doesn't suck up the whole budget before then.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of trash talk, man. It's a lot of trash talk about this Border Wars too. I mean, I don't want to start nothing, but I want you guys, because this podcast really is for you guys. So I want you guys to really just, hey, let it all out. I mean, this is the reason why we're doing this podcast, to stir things up, to get things going, to keep promoting, keep pushing towards a better future for Border Wars. I mean, this is my first time even coming, so I'm only just here just for the fun, just for the laughters, honestly.
Oh man, and there will be no end to the amount of fun you're going to have at this event. Having 3 almost full days of paintball, the shenanigans, the tomfoolery, I mean, the trickery that's going to go on here, it's going to be like nothing that you've ever experienced before. You'll definitely walk away dumbfounded at some of the things that happened, and telling stories nonstop about other things. So
yeah, because the way I'm looking at these comments, man, it's hilarious. But I'm seeing, and I'm trying to show all of them, but there's so many comments. It's really crazy. But no, I just love this, man. I really do. I love the fact that you guys made this happen. So if anything, I want to thank you guys for making this happen. And that's the reason why we do it.
Yeah.
Trash talk happens a lot.
We really appreciate the platform as well to get it all out here. It's a huge help. And again, it's always a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to get on here. And, Mark and I, since last year, we've developed a really great friendship. And, we do definitely do a lot of trash talking. Even before Mark and I met each other last year, there was enough trash talking that we even had a private message, like making sure that we were, simply trash talking for fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to get on the field and back up all this trash talk 2 years in a row against Mark here. And I'm excited to see what Tuna brings to the field too, and really looking forward to, being able to do a lot more trash talking after the fact.
I'm a princess, so you guys know. I trash talk, but I don't do all the action. My boys do it all for me.
I'll do it for you. I like that.
I'm telling you, Mark, you can still get an Idaho Champs shirt. I got one just for you.
Oh, I need it for my PJs. Doing trip.
I will buy every single one of them, and I'm going to hand them out in downtown Portland.
Who's hunting who? That's funny. I like that.
That hurts. They're no longer for sale.
No, but there's actually a lot of trash talk going. So there's so many. There's actually an event coming up, another big event coming up, and then I really want to get Kels out there the most because this event is called 0 Hour, if you guys ever heard of it, but it's in Albany, New York. One of the big events out there every year for MagFed. And man, the trash talking net is crazy. Like, I haven't even been doing any podcast with nobody on that, but it's like the trash talk is so real and so deep that so many guys just can't wait to get out there. Like, they're already talking smack. Some of them are actually meeting up, I think in March just for a warm up to see how it's going to go in April. But it's so crazy. Like, I mean, it's like, dude, like, is this really paintball, man? Are we really doing this? Because you gotta be real with yourself, like when you're in this paintball stuff, it does take over. I'm not gonna lie. And then you got a little bit of drama from other people who, in their feelings, whatever, or don't take things, lightly, whatever. And I can understand, not everybody's used to that. Some people think differently. But the whole goal of paintball is to have fun, shake hands towards the end, get some drinks, get food, laugh, talk, come together as one, build a bigger event, a bigger trash talk, and make it happen all over again. And this is why I say it's a therapy. Paintball is a therapy for us. Am I right or am I right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I'm stressed when I'm traveling, man. Come on, man. I'm playing. I love it. I don't care.
And at the end of the day, all this trash talk, we're still just friends. We're all friends at the end of the day, no matter how much we trash talk each other and how much of a hard time we give each other. And, at the end of the day, I do want to emphasize, not just for us, but for everyone watching too, it's, we're trying to stir up that fighting spirit. And that's as far as it goes. Nobody has any hard feelings any which way. It's simply just to get that motivation going, to get everyone's teams fired up. And without the trash talking, how could we do half the bragging that we're doing after winning last year, or how are we going to do it this year after we win again? So,
yeah. So what is this event looking like? And the generals that are in there, how is this going to take place? Don't really say too much, but give the people some kind of like intel on like what would they expect from each team.
Ooh. That's
not too much. Just
that's a tough one to not give away our secrets here.
Yeah.
I think that you could definitely expect a lot of trickery, right? Don't take things at face value. Great example Mark was talking about earlier is last year when Paladin wasn't producing, he was an assassin. He was a gun for hire, and you could find his flyers across the field, text the code on the flyer, and text him a picture of the person you wanted to put a hit out on, and you could send Paladin to go execute an assassination on a specific player. And some of the trickery you can expect would be, for example, last year Paladin asked Mark's XO, he said, if he was unsure of the rules, he needed to get Mark out there and talk to him. Mark's XO calls Mark onto the field and essentially delivers Mark to Paladin on a silver platter for Paladin to assassinate. I don't know if that was us or the Washington general who put that hit out on him, but
I lost track
definitely
of how many times I died at that event.
Definitely don't just take things at face value. If you hear something, stop and think about it for a moment, because you very well could be getting caught up in a dirty little trick.
It was twofold. I was trying to make sure everyone understood the rules, because it was a new game, new format, lots of things no one had understood. The rules about how the bounty hunter worked. But then, at that time, I had actually already had a contract out. And I believe it was Tony that put the contract out. So Idaho put the contract out on Mark. And I go to his XO. The XO was really hesitant at first. And so I just had to lie my way in and say, I'm just here to check on the rules and stuff. He calls him in off the radio. Mark was eating lunch, comes into his base, and I tag him out. He's dead. So, he was frustrated, I could tell, because the first few hours of that game, he had no clue what was going on. And he started learning and adapting fast, though. And that's the thing as a producer this year is I have to keep on my toes with these generals, because they're going to be trying to do all sorts of trickery on me as well. So it's not just them against each other. Sometimes it's against me. It's against my rules. It's against what I have set up. And that's the great thing about the Border Wars is it can kind of flow and change as we go. New missions can come up. My NPCs can write missions on the spot even. We can see if something's going stagnant. We can try to create a little chaos somewhere on the field and send a few teams, helicopter a few teams in based off of the NPCs and off of the warden. So it'll be a little bit different. And when you guys want to, I can drop a new announcement of a different mode of play that's going to happen at this year, but I'll let you guys talk about any other antics you want to first, of course. So.
Ooh, I don't know how many of my antics I definitely necessarily want to talk about quite yet. Mark just might have to wait and see.
I have antics. So as of right now, Saturday night at the event, I will be doing a free wood-fire pizza feed for all of Oregon players and select Oregon generals or select Idaho and Washington generals and event staff. So the event staff, anyone at the event, it's free of charge. I'll be firing up getting the temp up to temp right around the evening when we're all getting ready to settle in. And then my XO and I are going to start making pizzas. And come on up. We'll have all the ingredients. You just tell us what you want. You got your own ingredients you want to bring. I will make any weird pizza anyone asks me. I've made some pretty horrific pizzas before that turned out pretty great. So whatever you're down for, we'll make it. Part of my whole thing with this event as far as strategy and tactics is logistics. And the logistics of trying to transport my army from Oregon, the 8 hours in a convoy up to Border Wars, and try to make it cost effective for my guys and try to cut costs for them anywhere I can. So part of that is I'm deploying a massive camp. So people can just focus on bringing gear and bedding. They don't have to worry about, setting up a tent. And, I'm going to have a way for them we're going to have showers. We're going to have my Starlink internet. I might be working with Paladin to develop my own deployable solar array. There's all sorts of things I've got in the works that I don't mind talking about, because the things I'm really working on, you're not going to know about till I'm deploying them, and there's nothing you can do to counter them. So it's going to be fun no matter what we do. But my thing is food and paintball go hand in hand. And so whenever I can combine those two, I do. And I do free feeds at all my paintball events all year long. And it's kind of been my signature thing.
So I guess if we're going to go that route with it, Idaho's got some stuff going on for their players as well. We're trying to get everyone involved, really trying to push the pre-registrations. And in doing that, we're trying to give back as much as we can to all of our pre-registered players. So Mark's got his pizza thing going on. Idaho, we're giving away a ton of free gear, giving away a marker potentially. If we hit that 100-player pre-registration goal, giving away a bunch of Proflexes. We want to give back to the players that are given their all for Idaho. So we want to make sure that they have an opportunity to see some gratitude on our end as well.
And if you guys are okay with this, I do plan to make shirts. I'll be giving out shirts. There actually will be Border War shirts from the Prophet. So if you guys are okay with that, I can definitely get the guys get that out as well. Just for support, really. I just do it for fun, honestly. I feel like
so the only issue with Border Wars is actually a trademark now. I've paid for the trademark.
Okay.
So it can say pretty much anything other than Border Wars on it. It can say BW. It can use a lot of the other stuff that's in there. Just because I'm also creating merch and stuff, and so it's also a revenue income for me. Because honestly, the registrations don't cover it all. So I love you guys getting out there and promoting it and everything. So basically, I've had to send out a few things. I want you guys promoting it, but at the same time, that could be taking sales away. I understand it's still advertising, so it's kind of this balancing act of what helps me versus what doesn't help me. If you want to put together something that says Border Wars on it, run it through me, and then most likely we can come up to some kind of agreement in some way or another. So even if it's for personal use, commercial or non-commercial, because it's trademarked, you can get into some dicey areas there. And ultimately, any swag that people have at the event that is not pre-approved, that says Border Wars on it, they're going to have to either give it up or lose their event registration and be escorted out. I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but at the same time, it's everyone trying to create their own stuff. It's a little bit different. I know in the paintball world, paintball guys usually like to create their own team shirts and add that on there. So finding a common ground, just work with me and we'll see what we can do. So, or like I said, or if you want to have me design something or whatever, then it becomes official Border Wars swag or whatever. And you cut me in on a little bit and then I let you do that. You save some money. I make a little money. So that's how it's got to go.
No, I respect that. I'm a businessman too. So I definitely respect where you're coming from and understand. So yeah, we can definitely talk about this after,
Yeah. So
yeah, definitely.
I've Tuna too. He hasn't said much, but I know he's doing some giveaways for his first 50 people that register for Washington. So he can talk about that here and what his plans are.
Yeah. It's I'm new to this, so I'm the newest general. I've never been to the field. I haven't played this event yet. But I won't never shy away from trying to have a good time and just getting friends out and hanging out with people, meeting new people. A little trash talk here and there, it's all fun and games. But it's one thing I know about scenario players that we like goodies. It could be, trinkets, it could be stickers, it could be T-shirts, swag, whatever it is, and I like to be part of my community and I like to make things. So I just want to give people a little something at the token of my appreciation for people not only supporting me, but supporting local events. And I really like have a big value on community. So like I said, the first 50 people, I want to hook them up with some swag, some stickers, some patches, and T-shirts. And I'm working closely. I'm going to talk to Paladin a little more about stuff and make sure I'm not stepping on anybody's toes and anything. And at the end of the day, I just want to make sure everybody got good stuff. So like I say, I'm just here to have fun. And I'm the newest general, and I just want to, I'm experiencing this for the first time, and I've only heard good things, and I'm excited. I've never played a game like this before, so it's a whole new scenario for me.
This is your first time as general overall, or just in this scenario?
Just this game. I've general a lot of local games here. Like I said I generaled at Super Game Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not new to generaling. I think the last 5 years I've only done general gigs, like small games, big games kind of deal. So everybody can laugh at me when I'm out of shape and I'm not in the front line as often. I like to bark a lot nowadays, but Super Game changed me though. So I took a step back. I recruited a lot of front player guys. A lot of guys who have backgrounds in speedball and all kinds of play styles, and I've taken a step back to be a sniper role. But Super Game Florida, I was front line, action rifle. I did not care, and I was like, nah, I missed the front lines, and I can tell you already, if somebody put a hit on me on Border Wars, I'm gonna be dying a lot. Just so you guys know.
No, shout out to my guy Blicky. He was just out there at Florida, Super Game from Runnels K. He posted a lot of videos recently of him going up there. So, yeah, really good thing to see out there. I was supposed to make it out to Super Game Florida, but I didn't get a chance to. I was too busy. Work kicks up, and I gotta go ahead. Creep Show, what's going on, Creep? Shout out to Creep Show. He's a general for
0 Hour.
0 Hour.
Yes, sir.
That's my guy. He's been posting some crazy stuff, man, but I love it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see a comment in here from Chucklehead that Washington might need a field experience XO. I'm looking at one of my guys from LXG who knows the field, who is actually in the Army, has a lot of crazy ideas. Let's put it that way. So he knows the field. He knows Border Wars. He's played it before. So yeah, we're trying to set Tuna up as kind of the odd man out here, not ever playing on this field or Border Wars. I'm trying to get him out to the field a few times before Border Wars, maybe even go up against Kelly and his crew in some other games, but just to get the feel without having the pressure of being a general, because as Mark can tell you, it gets overwhelming very quick with what you have to manage in Border Wars. It is not like anything anyone has ever seen before. These guys can attest to that. Border Wars went on a quiet lull for about 15 years, from about 2010 to 2025. It ran solid from 2001 or 2003 to about 2010, and then it went quiet. And we've resurrected this game to bring true scenario back. There's a lot of games out there that are partial scenario, more big game style. I wouldn't call this big. In fact, it would be almost impossible to run this as a big game. It would be way too much to manage. But for a small, more intimate field, a smaller, intimate setting with, we're looking at 300 to 450 players. That should make it to where there's still plenty of firefights that for those that love to get into firefights, but you still got to use a lot of tactics. Still got to use a lot of other stuff to learn how to do this game, because it is not like any other. There's bottlenecks with the roads being impenetrable rivers other than bridges. Then you have the aspect of respawning is very, very difficult. So you can't just make a big push, go respawn real quick and get back in. You're going to be spending coin. You're going to be checking out NPCs, or you're going to be walking a long walk back to your CP in order to respawn. But there are ways to respawn in the field in the middle of a fight, but you got to have coin. And that's one cool thing about Border Wars. It's the only scenario game that I'm aware of. I'll see if I can do this, where you can get these coins. And so these were made for 2025. I have new ones coming up for 2026. We have all three colors, red, green, and blue. There were some other specialty coins that got made up last year. These can become collector items too. So you get the coins by doing missions, or possibly by finding them on the field. There's a few treasure caches, things like that. And the coin is your lifeblood. If you want to respawn, coin is the way to go. So lot different than anything that most people have ever played. So it's really like a computer game where you got the currency, you got the NPCs, you got missions. And obviously, we're shooting each other while we're running around as well. So, looks like we lost Mark, huh?
I'm changing a diaper. I'll be right back.
We're changing a diaper. Okay. Yeah. I am so glad I'm done with those days. So
how many coins can you find on the field?
There's going to be a few scattered out. So we're probably going to have, we made 1,500 coins last year, and all coins from last year are in play. We know a lot of people kept souvenirs. I got about 750 of the 1,500 that went out last year. I've got them back in my possession, and I'm creating more this year for the extra amount of players that are going to be there. I haven't determined the exact number yet, but it will probably, be at least another 1,500 to 2,000 coins being injected into the game. And so the NPCs, when they send you on a mission, they have points assigned to the mission as well as coins, or at least for most of them. So that's how you do it. I'm also, if you buy paint from paladinpaintball.com, every case of paint gets at least one coin and one raffle ticket to go in for the giveaway at the end. There's no raffle tickets that you can buy that you actually buy. You get them given to you for free. Washington has weird gambling laws, and raffles qualify as gambling laws. So I don't even want to mess with that. So there might be, different ways you can get the coins, from the missions. Like I said, there might be some on the field. Some maybe if you buy swag through Paladin Paintball. So, there's lots of ways to get coins to start the game, but in the game, the only way to earn them is finding them on the field or doing a mission that has coins tied to it. So And then you use the coins to hire the helicopter pilot to drop you into anywhere on the field, other than a certain area, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You can use the coins to hire tanks. You can hire the IG robot. Last year, you could hire the bounty hunter. So it gives a whole lot of play and a whole lot of strategy that creates just enough chaos and just enough variety that people just absolutely chomp at the bit to play that type of scenario, which doesn't exist anywhere else. And the coin, props out to Sean McNary, aka Night Owl, who came up with that way of doing that last year for Border Wars, and it was a huge success. So,
and it led to a lot of fun too. A lot of you had a lot of people out there who wanted the whole collection, who wanted a Washington and Oregon and Idaho General and a black coin. And that led to a lot of really fun scenarios towards the end of the event where, people were willing to do some crazy stuff just to get their hands on that one last coin to complete their collection.
Yeah. This year I'll probably have a inside the cantina, which is the central cooling zone. I'll probably have a whiteboard that has a coin trader type scenario on there that if you're looking for a specific serial number on a coin, then you will offer up so many coins to whoever can produce that. And I would be like an arbitrator of that or something. So you turn in that coin to me and then I turn it into the person. So something like that. So because it becomes a collector's item, it does become a lot of fun that way. But that's just a side little thing that has nothing to do with points or missions. Collecting the coins with a specific serial number, that's just for personal value. And then at the end of the day, whatever coins you decide to give up, you get extra raffle tickets for. So you can keep them as souvenirs or turn them in for extra raffle tickets. So coins become a huge part of Border Wars.
Cool. Thank you.
So somebody mentioned there is a way to rob coins from other players if you find what's needed to do it.
Yeah, we do have some chaos things. We have a robbery card that can go around, and if you have the robbery card, you present that to any player you want. It could be your own player. It could be an opposing player. You cannot present it to an NPC, though. And you get to rob them of all their coins. You might luck out and they have nothing. However, though, when you rob them, they get that robbery card. They cannot turn around and rob you straight back. That would just be pointless. But right. They can choose another player to go rob. And so you can it makes a fun little thing that goes on out there.
Somebody also mentioned referees. Are they going to be enough to help keep things smooth and within bounds?
Yeah, I will. Well, for one, all of the NPCs are referees, and I'm looking at having 5 main NPCs plus a few more. So I think there's going to be about 8 to 10 full NPCs. Myself is one of them, and I'm on the field. I don't run this off the field. And then I'm probably going to be having 10 to 15 refs. So there should be plenty of reffing going on for what needs to happen.
Wow. Somebody also mentioned if I knew you were recycling the coins from last year, I wouldn't have turned them in for a rifle ticket.
Yeah, we didn't know we would be either. And next year I might not. So recycle them. It just depends. So, but as of this year, I am allowing last year's coins to come back into the game. So, because Border Wars kind of technically is a continuation year by year. Whatever happens in the story before continues the next year. It doesn't reset the game. So, like Idaho has, I believe, one person got frozen again from Idaho, and one person, I don't know if it was Idaho or not, got cursed by the voodoo doll, by the witch doctor. Those things are in play right now. There's still a bounty out on one of Mark's guys that has not been pulled yet. So those things are still in play. Border Wars is a continuing live game that we talk about throughout the year.
Someone also mentioned, are you having any players as refs?
The only player refs that would be there are going to be, it would be guys that are on the LXG that are serving special roles on the team. So the medics, engineers, and demo guys, if they are LXG, because I know they're going to be fair and impartial, they will be able to be players refs. Other than that, we're kind of on the honesty system. You don't want to be causing chaos in this game. Let me put it this way. All the players will be receiving a handbook that tell them the rules. If they go against the rules, if they're caught cheating, if they're caught doing anything that they're not supposed to, then they could receive what's called an exile. An exile in the game of Border Wars does not allow you to interact with NPCs anymore. So it's kind of like a first ref's warning. You basically get like a scarlet X on your chest. And if you remove that, then you're kicked out of the game. So in order to receive the exile, you have to be doing some pretty serious stuff, but we don't go for cheating. You know, I know a lot of the big games, people, you know, really don't like playing big games anymore because there's so much cheating and wiping. And if you're just blatantly doing that, you're playing the wrong game. This game is for fun. This game is for the adventure that you're playing, the character that you're playing. So just cheating, it's not all about just shooting people out. And so if you get exiled, you can't interact with NPCs anymore. What does that mean? And you can't go into any neutral zones where the NPCs are at. So essentially, if you get exiled, you can't earn coin. You can't hire any of the NPCs that are hireable. It's really a bad thing to get exiled in this game. So we hopefully, you know, most people are going to be reffing each other. We didn't have, as far as I knew, there was not one major instance of cheating last year. Everyone respected the rules. They played the game. Some of them were a little confused at first or a little ticked off or thought certain rules were stupid, but as they started playing them more and more, they got in it. And as you succumb, I guess you could say, to the way Border Wars is designed, it is completely different than any other game, but it's a different experience, which from what I gather, everyone loves. So that's what we want to continue.
I'd like to speak to that, if I may.
Yeah.
So my background was mostly a Super Game Oregon in the last, better part of a decade. And I used to play for one of the larger teams in the Pacific Northwest, and we generaled Super Game for Blue, and we three-peated. We won 3 years in a row and then stepped down. And in of that, a lot of the time I was in more of an on-field leadership role, mostly because I had a radio that I was always able to transmit easily on Super Games. So that I'd usually be down in the whole of Styx, BB Hill, down in the swamp area, because I could send transmissions up top where my general was. Long story short, I came into Border Wars with the expectation of more of a big game. I knew it was. I'd spent a lot of time talking to Night Owl prior to the event, and I thought I'd had a grasp on it, but it's not until that you're on the field with your people out and about, and you realize how you're not fighting a linear battle. This game is happening in multiple dimensions at the same time. You're dealing with NPCs. You're dealing with the fact that you're being hunted. I, as the general, got smoked by IG Robot more than once. I got smoked by Paladin. I'm pretty sure at least once, if not more than once. And you have to have your head on an absolute swivel and have your nose in a map. I mean, you're taking in so much information, and having to make decisions on the fly in a way that I wasn't prepared for initially. But it's so much fun, and it's very addicting. The best way I described it is tactically my brain was on fire. When I got called off the field during lunch, I was sitting there enjoying a great sandwich, and I had to go walk onto the field to get killed by Paladin. And I was just like, dang it. But it was it's an event that, oh, hey, buddy. It's not like your normal paintball event. If you go there expecting it to be just battle lines and forcing people around the field, we tried that. The event organizer last year, in the final issuing of the rules, he forgot to put in the no alliances thing, which I exploited with the Washington General Jeff Marsh, who was a dear friend of mine. and I'm good friends with all the, shout out to New Breed Washington. So we basically, off the get of the start of Border Wars, Washington and Oregon were in an alliance, and we barreled down on Idaho and just cut the field in half. And had a blast doing it, but that's because I was treating the event as like super game, where I'm used to building a battle line and reinforcing that battle line, handle it, massive maneuver. It's not that kind of event. It's small squad tactics, lend to tactical flexibility to achieve missions. You don't want big battle lines, because the big battle lines are going to limit everyone's ability to access NPCs, missions, and areas of the field. But I can't wait. I'm planning to go to Armed Forces War at Nighthawk in March. I need more time on that field. I got a pretty good grasp of the field when I was there last time, but there's things I'm planning for Border Wars that I need to go test out prior to just showing up in August. So if you get a chance to go out to the field prior to going to Border Wars, or you're planning on attending Border Wars, I can tell you this, it is a really fun field, and the way the game sets up with the bridges and not being able to cross tank roads and other than at bridge locations or for whatever or other exterior means, it's a field you need to get eyes on. It's a large field. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of trenches that lend to big advantages, and knowing where those are at and how to access them, and it allows you to. Last year I had my younger brother Jack. Was my recon guy. He was alone by himself with a radio, and I could send him anywhere on the field, and he could just slip in and out in the area, and he'd pop up over here, pop up over there. If we get the numbers like we're planning on, that might be a lot more difficult, but I don't see how anyone's going to be able to really lock down the whole field. But it's
dang near impossible, because we can, the tanks that roll out, as of right now, the generals have agreed not to have their own tanks, but if they agree to allow tanks from an individual faction, we can do that. I have at least one, possibly two more tanks coming online before August that can be hireable. So, there could be tank wars. And there was a lot in the comments about the bridges. The bridges is the toughest thing to understand in Border Wars, because it's not something people are used to unless there's like an actual physical bridge. These are bridges that we take the roads, we make them rivers that are impassable except for certain river entities, NPCs that are allowed to be in there. And the only way to get across from one island to the other, and Nighthawk Paintball has a lot of roads, and so it makes it easy to section the field like this, lots of islands. The only way to get from one section to another is to erect a bridge. And so we've got Chucklehead on here, who is Tony. He was the general last year, and he's asking about that because, there was a lot of confusion, even amongst some of us who were helping with the game. We had to change some of the dynamics going into it. So what I am looking at doing this year is still using the rope system we had last year, but I'm looking at raising those to where they could be much higher in the air, to where any types of tanks or anything like that can still go under without having to worry about messing with a bridge. However, though, in order for players to cross the river, they must go through the bridge, and they need to use their engineers to do that. So engineers are a huge part. They're going to be utilized a little bit more. The rules are going to be more specific and clearer in advance for those. So we're going to have a basic player's rule book for the basic player, but there will be advanced rules as well for the generals and the engineers. That way everyone else doesn't get bogged down with some of those other rules and dynamics that they need to know. The refs will need to know all the rules, of course. So that's why I'm using a lot of LXG guys as well, and local guys that don't want to play the game, just want to be a part of it, and ref as well. I might reach out to some other professional ref companies. Haven't determined exactly how that's all going to go yet. So yeah, the players, Chucklehead saying the players didn't see that rope was down and crossed. Yeah, that happened a lot. For the most part, everyone tried to follow the rules. If I noticed people crossing when the ropes were down, I would say, hey, that rope's not that's not up. You can't go across. The bridge isn't erected. And then at sometimes, I think a couple times we allowed them just to cross even if the rope was down. So that became even more confusing. So we're going to try to keep the rules clean and consistent and set out in advance. So I'll be emailing the rules out to everyone who signs up. And then in the players' packets, when they sign up, they'll get a rule sheet. Hopefully you have an electronic version as well as a printed version, at least for the basic player's guide. Because it is so different, and we understand that. It is a hard game to learn. If this is your first paintball game, you're going to have fun, but you're going to be so confused the whole time. So, we recommend coming out to play paintball before that.
Something I saw come up in the comments, a couple of people have asked if, considering the game is a continuation of last year, if Idaho was going to have first choice on their CP due to the fact that we spanked everyone and we took a bunch of territory last year. To answer that question, I have talked to Paladin about that. I know originally you said you were unsure if we were going to roll dice for him or what, and then we had agreed that considering that we did take a bunch of territory last year, we would at least be able to pick what our territory is going into this year and not, lose territory going into the year just because of the gap in the games.
Right. And so, the way that Border Wars will go is everyone starts off on an individual island, and that is their island with their CP on it. And then after that, I mean, you can't really take territory and keep it because the way the NPCs roll, they're a neutral party, and they keep things neutral throughout the year. So for the mild skirmishes, you get to control an area, but after the skirmishes are over, everyone recedes back essentially to their CP. So everyone is starting strictly in their island where their CP is located. They will be the same as last year, but
I think that's what we were getting at, is the same CPs was the foundation of that question. So to answer that, is yes, Idaho will be in the same CP that we had last year.
Yep, same CP. However, though, that doesn't mean that new rivers may not have emerged. So you got to remember things like that. As the world changes in Border Wars, certain things change. Mark mentioned something about multidimensional here first. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to share with you. This is the announcement I wanted to make when you guys were all on. So there is going to be a new dynamic in Border Wars this year where you guys will need to learn how to work together in order to work against each other. I have created an area of the field which will not be accessible to normal players. It will be every hour on the hour. You have to get a mission from the 3 main NPCs, and you will be entering what's called the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm does not allow electronic markers. It does not allow any type of power-ups. It does not allow rockets. It is straight up mechanical or mechanical type markers. So if there's any type of electronic on the marker, not allowed. You can have electronic on the Harper, that's fine. And so these are going to be where special missions and special power-ups are going to be found. So in order to enter the Shadow Realm, you are going to need to enter in through a portal, which will be assigned to you by the 3 main NPCs, meaning Mad Scientist, Crazy Chemist, and the Witch Doctor. They will assign you a mission and a portal and a time. So essentially, you need to get to them in that first hour. You need to get a guide to every one of those NPCs in order to get the mission card to know where to go and what to do. And then you'll have that first hour to see where you're assigned. You guys will have to have, the reason why I said you have to work together is because the way the Shadow Realm opens up, there are 3 portals that all have to be opened with the key at the same time. 1 at each portal. So Idaho, Oregon, and Washington are all going to have to field players into the Shadow Realm. If one doesn't field, none of them get to go in. So, but you could try to, block your teams from going into there, but you don't get to go into there either. There'll be a minimum and a maximum amount of players allowed in, and no player can be allowed for multiple Shadow Realm missions. So every hour on the hour on Saturday only. There may be some on Sunday. So questions, go for it. Kelly, I know your brain is your mind's rolling right now.
I think it's neat. I think that it, like you said, it's going to give us an opportunity to work together, to work together to be able to work against each other. So I'll look forward to that. It'll not to mention, I mean, before that announcement, I had no intention of having a direct radio line to Mark or Tuna, and this gives us a great reason to have a dedicated radio line between the generals, which I think will be so much fun. Even outside of that, the amount of shit talking that we will be able to do over that radio channel throughout the game, and taunting and teasing. I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most out of this whole aspect, is having a good reason to have a radio line between Mark and Tuna and myself.
You have activated my trap card. This sounds amazing.
The fact that we can't have the same players going in every time, and that it has to be mechanical only, will definitely lend itself to to a new dynamic, right? Of trying to inventory who you have in your faction that is not running mechanical markers that you can use for the Shadow Realm, and then making sure that you are using the right players at the right time to sending to the Shadow Realm. So that'll definitely be a very interesting one. Looking forward to trying to figure out the logistics on that, as well as you've just given me hours of DMing that I'm going to have to do.
Yep.
That you just tenfolded my workload. So thanks for that.
I want to say, guys, get it all out. This is your guys' platform. I'm just here to listen. I told you at the beginning, I'm just here to listen, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting one.
Paladin, you still doing a sniper battle?
There hasn't been any interest in it yet, and the sniper battle is probably just going to be like a long shot competition. With all the stuff that's going on, I'm finding myself stretched thin for those 3 side type things that I was looking at: the sniper battle, the 3-man mech tournament, or I'm sorry, not the 3-man mech, but the 3-man tournament, speedball tournament. And I was trying to get global going, but trying to set it up on that field, at least not in the way I want to. I think it'd be really, really difficult. So we're looking at not doing any of those, just concentrating on the 4 mini games on Friday, the long format on Saturday. Saturday night is an open night. Anyone wants to go in and do, speedball just to play around, we'll have the field open for that, but there won't be any type of organized tournament or anything like that. And then Saturday night is going to be, Mark doing pizza. There is some interest. I haven't made a final decision yet or not, but it's looking that way on possibly having a neutral zone beer garden to where anyone can come in and hang out and talk. You don't have to buy beer, but you got to be 21 to be in there. So a beer garden to where guys can just sit and talk about the day, and that would be Saturday night. And Saturday night would just be an easy night. No night game Saturday night. The night game would be Friday night. And then that way Saturday, after everyone's burned out, you get a rest for the day, prepare for final battle, last stand on Sunday. So that's kind of what we're looking like with the schedule.
I think an important note here is you mentioned, you keep saying, or I keep hearing people say, like, Mark left for lunch last time. Saturday is a continuous game from the time we start until the end of that game. There is no set breaks. There is no set lunchtime. It's not like the horn's going to blow and we're all going to take an hour for lunch. So, it's going to be important to, it's an August game. It's going to be hot. It's going to be important. Hydrate, starting the week before the game, and then going on to the field Saturday. Like, make sure you go poop. Make sure you bring snacks. Make sure that you have everything you need to have to be on that field for how many hours do you have planned for the game on Saturday?
Yeah, it's 7 hours, 10 to 5. So
10 to 5, right. So make sure you have what you need to stay on that field and play your heart out for 7 hours in 100-degree weather. It's a tall ask and it's a brutal order, but definitely anticipate and plan for that. Don't come into this thinking that it's going to be like all these other games where we've got 4 or 5 breaks throughout the day. Like, we're going to go and we're going to fight for our lives for an entire day. And players need to be prepared for that. Not only on Idaho, we do a lot to help our players out in that instance. If you were on Idaho last year, you know what I'm talking about. But for all of these teams, I can't stress it enough, guys. Make sure that you show up well hydrated. if you go out on that field and you go down from heat stroke or dehydration or any of that, that's going to stop the whole game for everybody. You're going to go to the hospital. You don't want to go to the hospital. We don't want you to go to the hospital. We want everyone to have an awesome weekend all weekend long. And that starts at home the week before with each and every one of you that's coming. Hydrate. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you're taking your electrolytes. Make sure that you have a good breakfast on Saturday. Like, take care of your body, because this is not going to be a game for the weak-hearted. We're going to go out there. We're going to fight a battle of attrition, and you don't want to be a victim to that attrition. And I don't want you to be. So I just wanted to get that out there and make sure that people are preparing themselves mentally, physically. Prepare your equipment. Be ready, because it will be an all-day slugfest.
Yeah, it's Washington, unfortunately, in August is terribly hot weather. We got lucky last year where I think it was down in the 70s. We had cloud cover. There was a fire nearby, but luckily the wind was just enough to push it the other way. That is, as long as I've been playing paintball, that is the only August that has been like that. So expect 100 degrees. And remember, this field has a lot of basalt rocks. Those suckers absorb that heat all day long, and they throw off that heat well into the night. So make sure you're bringing water, electrolytes. Make sure that you're coming into the cooling zone, the central one, or that the generals. It's up to you guys. If you want to create your own central cooling zone, if you need help, let me know. We'll see if we can round up some materials. But I am not setting anything up in your CPs as a cooling zone. But yeah, bring stuff onto the field. Even if you don't have yourself a cooling zone, but maybe you got some water bottles with straws in them, so you don't have to take off your mask. You can do that. But if you get an approved netting cooling zone, then you can take your masks off. No markers in the cooling zones, no matter what, even if they're barrel bagged. Keep them outside. So
last year I ran a Camelback. I ran a 3-liter Camelback.
In 2018, a stick eater or a CP. It was in Texas, and it was like 105 degrees, 110, and we were allowed each CP. Similar idea, like cooling zones. We had ice in there all the time, water all the time, and if you were to walk into the zone, I think it was like a 20-foot radius of the zone. You walk inside, you can take your mask off, cool off, hang out. Markers got to stay outside. So no, definitely hydration and health is very important, especially in these hot weathers. My team's excited. We've only ever played the rain. I think every field we go to, we're always like, oh, we bring the rain. Seattle's bringing the rain, and then it starts pouring, and we're like, dang, we gotta stop saying this. I
don't think anybody's gonna complain if you bring a little bit of rain in August for us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm about to say, it sound like the show Spartacus when he brought the rain. What was his thing again? Like the rain. What do you call him? I don't know, Gods of Rain, something like that. It was some fun. I've been watching the years.
Yeah. I think we got lucky last year. We got a little bit of rain the night before the game last year. It kind of knocked down the dust a little bit, and it cooled us off a bit. So,
one thing I want to say, just in general, with Border Wars, for those who don't know, we do a lot of. You need to prove your mission. So last year we had video or picture proof that you did a mission in a certain area. I would suggest finding an old smartphone or something, or an old digital camera that you can get going for this if you don't want to take your new phone out, because if you get assigned a mission, you got to prove it. You got to figure out a way to do that. That's part of the deal. If you want to bring a Polaroid out or whatever, you can do that. And then last year, as some of the guys found out, we had some things that had secrets revealed only through black lights. So you might want to bring some of that kind of stuff on there as well. So someone had mentioned, Chris was asking about trying to have other players identifying as other players. You don't want to do that, Chris. That'll get you in exile. One person into the shadow realm. And you're gonna have a player's card on you. It's gonna have your chrono. It's gonna have the exile. So basically you get 2 ref punches that indicates the exile or not. There'll also be a section on there for the shadow realm. You're going to get punched when you go through the shadow realm. If you grab another player's card, because your card will have your name on it, especially if you're pre-registered, you grab another player's card and try to cheat that way, you're going to get exiled. They're going to get exiled. Don't mess around with my rules, man. That's all I got to tell you.
Nice talk, Mark.
Hey, just real quick, do you have a chicken in your
Yeah,
camera?
it's my chicken.
He just wanted to show off his
No,
chicken.
my kids escaped outside. My children grabbed the chickens and bring them to me. So the chicken was brought to me.
Wow, I have never seen it before on my podcast. So.
What do I need to do to get you to bring me a chicken on Saturday during gameplay?
Do you have a chicken?
I mean, say less.
Well, since you guys are all so fond of chickens, I'll let you in on one more thing. We're going to have some fun chicken rider shenanigans going on as well. So that's going to be one of those missions you're going to want to accomplish in the Shadow Realm is acquiring the chicken rider. So it's a power up. You're going to want it. It's fun. So.
Hey guys, well, if you guys have one more question or one more thing you want to talk about before you guys click off, feel free to. But I just want to say this was a great podcast. I have to say that you guys definitely ran this thing. You know, I didn't want no parts of it. I was just listening. I love the conversation. I love hearing things about Border Wars. It's my first time actually going to Border Wars. You know, I heard so many stories, but to be a part of this is definitely different for me. So, and I did reach out to Nightmare and Wolf Paintball, hoping that these guys would come out there as well. Great guys. You know, me and Wolf played at Honey Badger in 2023 in Canada. That was amazing. Mm-hmm. So me and him coming to Border Wars would definitely be epic. You know, it would bring a lot of, not just a lot of attention, but a lot of playing time, you know, the fun, the energy, you know. Like this guy, man, I've seen this guy led small armies and first day just ran through the enemy territory. So I witnessed it myself. I was a part of it. So I'm not saying that we're going to do the same thing when it comes to Border Wars, but we're always expecting a challenge. We're always expecting more fun. And we love what paintball brings.
There will be no shortage of playing time either. I mean, 7 hours Saturday. We're looking at what, like 4 to 6 hours on Friday, and how many hours on Sunday?
I think I'm keeping it at 3 hours on Sunday, maybe 2.5. So
we're looking at 10 to 16 hours of paintball over the course of the weekend. And when you know, go to a lot of these games and you know, you see a full day of paintball and maybe a night game and a short thing Sunday, but people are definitely going to be getting their money's worth out of this. I mean, the amount of paintball we're going to play over those 3 days is going to be enough to have, you know, even the most hardened players fully satisfied and completely exhausted by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
I like this guy, Chris, man. This guy, Chris, he's a good guy. I like this guy. He's just one more thing out of what it's going to take to win.
I'll give Chris a shout out. He was the man of the year, the player of the year at Nighthawk Paintball. So because he promotes the sport so much in our area, he's always got a great smile, bringing great teams out. His team, the Brigands and Chaos, kind of go against my team, LXG, a lot, but we're all friends. We got lots of great pictures of doing all sorts of stuff, even normal shenanigans on our normal monthly games. So it's Chris is a great guy. I love having him on. And yeah, he definitely likes to bring a lot of the smack talk. So
and I gotta give him a shout out too. He's been so helpful for me on Idaho. You know, we put together our page to help promote Idaho and everything. And you know, with me playing a full season of speedball and captaining a speedball team and captaining a scenario team, playing a full season of recreational woods ball, scenario ball, and generaling Border Wars. Suffice it to say, I've got a pretty full plate, and I could not be doing all this without Chris. He has been such a massive, massive help on my end. He has been running all of the media for the Idaho side, and if it wasn't for him, we would not have half the following we do on that media right now. So I want to make sure to give him his credit as well. The guy he's phenomenal. He's an awesome person to play paintball with. He's an awesome person just to shoot the shit with, and he has been a huge, huge help on my end. So, you know, heartfelt thank you going out to Chris here with the Brigands. it really means the world to us to have their support and have all of his help.
Somebody also mentioned, honestly, a night game should be reconsidered since Washington and Oregon can't operate in the dark like at all.
I think that's a little jab coming from our absolute savage, nearly. Oh gosh, I mean, there was no mercy in the night game last year. Idaho came in with a small lead above Oregon at the end of Saturday. Oregon put up a great fight on Saturday, and we came into that night game with a little bit of a lead, and we left that night game with so much of a lead that by the end of Sunday, Washington and Oregon's points combined did not touch Idaho's points. So I think that might be a little jab at our vicious domination of the night game last year.
Y'all making me blush. I like that, Chris. But no, guys, if you guys can just say one positive thing, one thing that can influence another paintball player or someone that is a beginner, if they want to come to Border Wars for the first time, what would be your words of encouragement? And anyone can go.
Border Wars was my first game ever, right? So I was that person years and years and years ago, 2004, 5, 6, something like that. Half of my lifetime ago, Border Wars was my first big paintball game that got me absolutely hooked on paintball. And as a brand new player going to that game, this is where I've ended up. Now I'm generaling the game. I'm thoroughly involved in all aspects of play, from the speedball side to the scenario side. I've gotten to travel all over the country to play paintball. I get to do really cool stuff like this now, jump on these podcasts. I've met hundreds of great friends, all because I was you. I was that brand new player that decided to go to Border Wars one time, and now my love for paintball has reached a nearly irresponsible level. So don't be shy. Don't let it intimidate you. Get out there and go play, because you never know. You could be the next Idaho general. All you got to do is just take that leap and get out there and go play some paintball. They're paintball guns, right? They shoot people all the same. Your paintball gun shoots me the same as my paintball gun shoots you. So just because you're new does not mean that you are not a formidable weapon out on that paintball field. And you could be walking through the door of something that brings you so much joy and fulfillment for the rest of your life. And I say that from personal experience.
Heck yeah, I 100% I agree with you. And for anybody who's new and skeptical about coming out, like you said, just come out and come in with an open mind and a clear conscience and just have fun. I would not be where I am today in the paintball community if it weren't for me taking the leap to meet new people and just talk to people and be willing to come out of your comfort zone, not immediately or dramatically, but it's definitely changed my life. And I've met amazing people across the field, across the states, different countries. My Mexico boys, they love me, and I've never stepped foot there, but come out and have fun. I think it's one of the best outlets that you could do in pastime, and you meet all kinds of people of different places, and you never know who's going to be your next best friend, who's going to be your next close friend. So,
and lifelong friends at that too.
Exactly.
Well, I love both you and both Tuna and Kelly, but I'm planning to disrespect both of you guys at that event in a really awful way. It's the things I'm going to be doing are things that have never been done in paintball on the paintball field before ever. So don't feel bad when you become victim to my schemes. It's not your fault. I'm just playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. But
don't forget, consent is sexy.
No, so paint just on the little extra on the way out. I really appreciate you guys' time on the podcast. I apologize for me cutting in and out. My father-in-law is in the ER. My wife's been there with him all morning, so I've been stuck at home with the two kids, and so I've been having to chase and clean up after him. So I apologize, you guys, for being patient with me, but I've thoroughly enjoyed your time. Prophet, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Paladin, I talk to you about 2 hours a week. Kelly, we talk crap back and forth on the daily. Tuna, we need to talk more, because I don't want to see your innocence ruined at this event and the way I think you're about to be Your chair's about to be popped. But my paintball life story has been that everything in my life I have now, my marriage, my children, my career is all because of paintball, because of the passion that I have for the sport. The people I've met through the sport has redirected my life in a way that I never thought possible. I've made friends like I never thought I could make friends. And for me, it's very personal. I very much love the sport in a way that's likely unhealthy for me, but I digress. I just have a lot of credit card debt,
Yes,
but
I'm there with you.
I can't tell you that from all the events I've played over the years and all the people and things I've gone to do, Border Wars has an energy unlike most other events I've been a part of. And like I said, this is something, as the general, I'm dealing with something in regards to Border Wars every single day. I get to a point at the end of the week where I have to call Paladin. I'm like, hey, I've had like 9 different crazy ideas. I need you to like round me off and tell me, is this too crazy or whatever? But ultimately, I love the event. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone out there and all skin to do what we love, which is, scenario paintball, because there's no other drug like scenario paintball.
This is by far the friendliest event I think that I have attended as well. I've gotten a really cool opportunity a lot in the last 6 months or so to do some traveling and play paintball. And I think out of all of the events that I've gotten to go to, this is the one event where everybody has such camaraderie between the teams. Even as soon as we walk off the field, it's smiles, it's pats on the back, it's war stories. There's no bad blood. There's no, real rivalries aside from playful ones. So the energy there, the amount of happiness and just the friendliness of this event is far surpassing all of the other events that I've been to. You can walk into this event and pick out any random person and they're always more than happy to be your friend, whether they're on Idaho or Washington or Oregon or, they're an NPC. It's just such an inclusive and friendly event. I can't stress that enough. And that's one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Paladin, you want to go next?
Yeah. So,
Okay,
we all have our reasons why we got into paintball or how we did. And for me, it wasn't until 2020 I had rejected paintball for decades because I thought it was a stupid sport because of my experiences. And it wasn't until I had a good experience. I broke down after COVID. My buddy got me to come out and play, and I just had an absolute blast. And the camaraderie, the brotherhood, everyone just being there, helping each other out, just like Kelly said, not on the same team, but yet you're on the same team. You're on the paintball team. We want paintball to succeed. And sometimes that means shaking things up and going a little bit different than what things have been done before in the past. When paintball first came out, it was, guys shooting their friends out in the woods. And then all of a sudden we found out that we can make these markers go electronic and now have these awesome, cool tournaments. But then we kind of lost the feel for that old original stuff. And so we've got guys coming out of the woodworks, coming out of retirement because they heard about Border Wars or other scenarios or big games starting to try to move towards scenario again. And like it's a brother. I would never have known Mark. I would never have known Kelly or Tuna without this, and you, Prophet, as well. I'll get to meet you finally. And so it is a global brotherhood, and we're there for each other. These guys, that are on my team, I can call them if I'm having an issue. They can call me, something personal in their life. You can't find that in a lot of places, and that's what we need. And so Border Wars is just one part of it, and we're hoping to expand Border Wars out of the inland Northwest and possibly in a few years have multiple games across, or maybe certain territories take over and they expand eastward as opposed to just westward. Who knows? And so, we're not trying to compete with any other games that are out there, but we're just trying to offer something different that's out there that can enhance a player's experience and love for the game. Because I know sometimes going for me personally, I'm not dogging big games, but they don't evolve, they don't change, and I like a lot of change. I like a lot of variety, and so going to the same game every year, other than seeing my buddies, it started getting to a point where I just wasn't having fun anymore. And so Border Wars, I think, was resurrected at a perfect time for that. For me, I'm kind of locked to this area. I can't travel to these big games due to my situation with my kids. So it's hard for me to go to a big game weekend and get back in time to get my kids. But, the support that's there is amazing. And so I just got to say, for anyone, who's been there, no matter what type of player you are, you're going to have fun. And if you try to play the games the way that they're designed, we do try to, as producers, make them the best case so people are having fun. Now, obviously, things fall through the cracks a lot of times. We're not perfect. We're people, and these things can be hard to manage. But, think of all the times you've been to those big games, and even though there's lots of wiping or cheating or miscommunication or whatever else, at the end of it, you still had a good time because you're out there with your boys, and that's all there is to it. So love to expand that family. I've been growing my paintball social media friendship line. I've been friending people who are friends of mine, even if I've never met them, because you never know. Maybe we have met on the field and I just didn't know, or maybe there will be a chance in the future. So
real quick, I saw Knucklehead. I suspect that's Tony Lunatic, the general from Idaho from last year. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've gathered. Tony, I saw that you and if you're not Tony, I'm sorry, but I saw that you posted that you were going to pay for an entry for each of the teams and let the generals decide who to give them to. And then right here, I see I'll get with Nighthawk and prepay to let him know. Just want to throw out there, you need to get with Paladin, not Nighthawk. Get with Paladin, let him know, and handle getting those purchased through Paladin Paintball. So I just wanted to catch that before we were off here.
Last year, Nighthawk actually hosted the event. This year, Paladin Paintball owns the event, registration, everything, and I rent the property from Nighthawk. So I'm working with Dale at Nighthawk, and I have a lease agreement for the facility. Paint runs through me, all that kind of stuff. So, but by the way, it is a bring your own paint. You can buy paint from me as well at paladinpaintball.com. If you buy it before July 31st, you can get those extra tokens, things like that. But this is a bring your own paint event, as long as it's not 10-year-old paint that's crappy anyway. So
no monster ball.
Yeah.
Perfect. I got balls from Super Game 2024, so I think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a slight chance that the Idaho faction will have some. I'm working on trying to have some scented paint as well. If you want to leave your mark on people, give them something to remember you by. It doesn't smell bad, but enough of it doesn't smell good.
Give me an order and I'll put my pheromones, ship it to you. So.
Perfect. Yeah, I think the Washington general from last year can attest to that. We hit him with some cherry scented paint from across the field in the night game, and we're able to come and identify it at the end. So that's always a fun one. It's always fun when you shoot people and not only leave a mark, but make sure they go home smelling like some cheap cherry perfume. Get them in trouble with the wife too.
But I just want to say, guys, I haven't actually played a scenario game probably since 2023. And I was a general for Winter Brawl here in South Jersey. And I have to say that to be back in the scenario game again, and a huge one, it's definitely a blessing. Because I actually gave up on scenario games. I only stick with only MagFed events only. But to be here, to be a part of this, it's amazing. It's a big change. Not only for me, but for the people around me, people in the paintball community. Because, even though my name is what it is, people look up to me. They see what I do. They see what direction I'm going, and so they follow. And, to be a leader, you have followers. And they watch your every move. They see what you do. They want to see if you're going to stay in character. So I just want to say to you guys that I'm happy to be a part of this. It's been a pleasure. And of course, down the line, Paladin, if we can get together, maybe you guys can come down here. That would be amazing too.
I'd love to make it out that way.
Yeah, talk to one of our home fields, and I'm pretty sure we make that happen. I'm pretty sure.
When is the
We're switching
game?
out.
You mentioned you wanted to get me out to
0 hour.
0 hour. Let me.
So that's my birthday weekend. That's April 25th and the 26th.
Excellent. I will cross-reference that with our speedball schedule and see if we can't make it out.
Let me know. It's only MagFed event. Creep Show is the general for the blue squad. The yellow general, I forget his name, but I know the guy
Havish.
somewhat.
Havish.
That is, yeah. That's him. So that's gonna be that's gonna also be in April. So it's gonna be a huge event. It's already running out of blue and yellow. So yeah, get those now before it's too late. But thank you guys for sure. Thank you guys for having me on here, man. And thank you guys for this podcast. I want to say let's do a part 3 in March, see where this goes, or we can go down the line until it gets closer to Border Wars event. But definitely going to do a part 3 for this.
Yeah, looking forward to it. These are always a lot of fun.
If anyone wants to sign up, it's at paladinpaintball.com. I'll try to, or maybe someone can throw a link on there or something. And we've extended the early bird special to the first 100 total registration. So we originally had it only $10 off for December, but now we've extended to the first 100 total. My budget will allow me for that. So we're going to try to get as many players in, helping these generals, because they do have a race to 100. The first team to get 100 registrations gets an in-game advantage to start Saturday off. So to help them with that, I dropped the price for a little bit, but I can't do it all. They gotta get those guys in there. So, and I understand with all the other games that are out there, ours is later in the season compared to the spring game. So sometimes a lot of those registrations will be coming after that, probably around June or so. But anyone who can get in there and get registered early, that just helps all of us out. So,
and I'm sure a lot of you have seen, if you're on the Idaho Faction Border Wars page, you've seen it. Idaho is giving away a Planet Eclipse LV 1.6 hopper tank, the whole package, if we're the first ones to 100. And to be eligible for that giveaway, you have to be in that first 100 players pre-registered. But outside of that, all of our pre-registered players for Idaho, we're giving away limited edition Pro Flexes, we're giving away pod packs, we're giving away paint, we're giving away some free entries, we're giving away limited edition 1-of-1 epic headband that's going to be Idaho faction specific. We're doing as much as we can to really give back. If you guys are giving to us by helping us reach 100 first, we have all kinds of stuff to give back to you, and I want to see you all get in that raffle and win some cool stuff. I think the last I saw when someone pre-registered is an order number with something in the 30 something. So what does that leave us, Paladin? Like 60 some odd available early bird specials left, 60 and change.
Yeah. Yep. There's been a few more since I talked to you last, but yeah, it's been kind of slow in January here, but that's expected. So
that just don't sleep on it, right? Don't
the way I look at it,
drag your feet.
The way I look at it, if I've got 30 registrations and my minimum is 300, that's 10%, 9 months before the event, 8 months before the event. That's actually pretty good. So I do appreciate those who signed up early. So, but we got a long way to go, because as those registrations come in, that allows me to then buy the props, do the things that I need to do to get the game set up well in advance. So,
let's make it happen, fellas.
Yeah.
Excellent. I appreciate all your guys' time today. This was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
It's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure. But for everyone else, please register ASAP. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. And like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's keep this going. There will be a part 3 and a possibility part 4. So
let's get Border Wars 2026 champs going, guys. We got this. Idaho for the win.
All righty. Take care, guys. Paintball for the win.
Fair enough. Paintball for the win. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Good enough.